Do you continue to experience skills problems, or are you recruiting sufficiently to overcome any problems that you've had in the 6 months?
We are recruiting aggressively, and as a result, we have decided to recruit more than we need in a ramping up period. Because in a mechanized mining, you are always going to lose skills because there are only so many mines that are mechanized, and therefore the skill set is very limited. So we are not only recruiting, we are also recruiting to train. We are not stealing people only, yes, but we are also recruiting people, training them in preparation for plugging those gaps. So yes, we continuously train people, and I guess every mine which is mechanized has got those kind of problems, but probably we are worse because we are ramping up. And you've got to recruit people from mines that are at steady state.
What about the basket price now? We used to always ask you about the platinum price, but now we're more educated to see that we need to be looking at the basket price. What is your comment on the prices at the moment?
The prices are, they could be better, but they're good. The prices are good. I wouldn't talk about platinum price because it remains depressed due to the change to electric vehicles, particularly battery electric vehicles, but mostly the anti-diesel sentiment in Europe itself, which is improving a bit, especially in heavy-duty vehicles. It's improving a bit. As a result, you saw demand in Europe in the first quarter of the year improving, platinum demand improving in Europe because of the tightness of environmental legislation. But it's still not where we want it to be. We'd like to think that what we're seeing is a stabilization of the decline of the price, which bodes well for us. But palladium remains strong, rhodium remains strong, and gold, which we produce in a very small quantity, is also strong. That improves the overall revenue basket price. The exchange rate also helps us, and I don't want Titomboweni to hear me saying this, but the exchange rate helps us, and we are not unhappy with the rand dollar exchange rate where it is at the moment. Therefore, the basket price remains quite strong for us. We only need to improve our operational performance, get the volumes out there at better grade, at lesser cost, and then we will be able to leverage the basket price as we see it now.
And can you do anything to improve demand for your product, particularly platinum? Are there things in motion which are helping to lift the demand for that platinum?
And many things are happening both at the platform of International Platinum Association, but also PGI, which is Platinum Guild, as well as WPIC. So, and this is the industry, and when I'm talking about the industry, I'm talking about the producers, and mainly us South Africans. We're putting money into this, into PGI, we're putting money into WPIC to promote investment, PGI to promote jewelry. We could do better. And we saw the decline in jewelry demand and consumption in platinum jewelry in China due to various reasons in China, not necessarily as a result of lack of investment in market development. But yes, that contributed when we reduced our budget to PGI, and we could see that we're losing a market share. And we are trying to rectify that. So there are all efforts that have been taken. At WPIC, there is AIR, which is an alliance to develop a testing mechanism on road testing for NOx. And it has been proven. You remember that early this year, Jaguar Land Rover announced that they put a stamp of approval on that technology, and therefore they said our car is available for testing. It qualifies and it complies far ahead of other cars with Euro 6D. So yes, we're moving quite ahead. It takes a very short time for things to collapse, but it takes a long time for things to be rebuilt.
And the industry has always been very close to the automotive sector, and the catalytic converter business has been a stabilizing influence, and it still continues, and it will continue for some time. But there is that threat, the anti-diesel sentiment, and also people moving to petrol. But what if they then move to BEVs, and you don't even have as much demand for rhodium and for palladium? Is that something that you believe you'll be able to fill that automotive gap with something at some stage at the right time?
I think all these vehicles are going to coexist contemporaneously. There is no way in which one vehicle will dominate over the other. And what's important for diesel cars and petroleum cars, I'm talking about internal combustion engine cars, will have to fight for their space under the sun and improve their technology, improve their emissions. And as I said earlier on with Land Rover Jaguar, that is one of the many examples, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, but also the oil companies need to improve the quality of the diesel itself. And we see that improving all the time. We see in Germany, the talk is no longer about banning diesel cars, but banning cars that are not compliant from entering into the cities. So every car will have an opportunity to compete equally with all other cars. So there will be battery electric cars. There will be fuel cell cars, which is the fuel cell technology has developed so far that it's a reliable car, but for the fact that we lack infrastructure at this stage. And therefore we see in areas like California, China also, hydrogen economy has become the talk of town now. So it's a matter of time you start seeing battery electric cars having a long range, fuel cell cars coming in because hydrogen economy is coming, infrastructure is there, but you'll see diesel cars becoming more and more compliant, as well as petroleum generated cars. So I would say overall every car under the sun will have an opportunity. But if I have to put my bet on it, with internal combustion engine cars, you're going to find hybrids in few years to come, either diesel hybrids or petroleum hybrids. Yeah.
Is there anything you think that could be done in South Africa that would be economically justifiable to also promote this national patrimony of ours, which is called platinum group metals?
Yeah, absolutely. And what is pleasing is that we're starting to hear talks about hydrogen, not only in cars, but also in energy generation. So South Africa has got energy generation problem. If it's there, it is pollutive. And therefore hydrogen could be one of the answers for mixed power generation. And we need to do that. Government needs to come in together with the industry and develop strategies on how to promote demand for platinum. We have been talking to government to say, we are putting money on jewelry development, jewelry market development. Is South Africa not coming? Is the government not coming to the party to help with that? Investment, for example, the coins, platinum coins, we've got the billions, gold billions. Why don't we have platinum ones as investment coins? So there are quite a number of things that could be done. But on a larger scale, I really do think that the hydrogen economy is the answer to help platinum.
And what gives you that confidence that the hydrogen economy is coming through? I see that China has changed their 5-year plan from the BEV to the fuel cell electric vehicle, which was an interesting change. In China, we see Japan very keen on the hydrogen economy, Germans, Californians.
Absolutely.
Can it be spread bigger?
It can be spread bigger. These things do start somewhere, and people copy. And maybe it's the right thing for us to copy, because to start technology which you can draw off the shelf, I mean, it's foolhardy. So, and technology is there. We just need to copy that technology. Do we have the capacity to do that? So yes, definitely we do. We tend to wait too long until things go bad. You look at the coal power stations. Do they have a long life in this country? Maybe yes, but the environmentalists are challenging it all the time. The banks are starting to get cold feet on funding those kind of projects. We need to have an alternative, and that's hydrogen.
And how could that help when you say hydrogen? Could the sun give us the energy, and could there be
solar system? Yes, from the sun. We've got with the most sunniest continent ever. We've got the sun. We don't buy it; it's there. All that we need to do is to get that energy and store it and use it.
Yeah. Could electrolyzers, could they create demand for platinum?
Absolutely, equally with fuel cell and hydrogen economy. Yeah.
And, you know, just looking locally, we see we've got an automotive industry that the government wants to concentrate on here. I hear there's a lot of hope around our automotive industry. Could something not be done where we start bringing in this technology early? Because we export cars from here. You know, if we continue just doing it in the old-fashioned internal combustion way, just now there won't be demand for our cars, or we'll be polluting someone's atmosphere. Could we not do something more on coming forward with better, modern type of technology that is platinum catalyzed?
I'm not sure exactly whether we can. Definitely we have got very good chemical engineers, metallurgical engineers, mechanical engineers in this country that can do that. The problem is we don't have an OEM of our own in South Africa. All cars that we are exporting from here are either from Europe or some other continent somewhere, and we're doing it on behalf of BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and we are an assembly point rather than a construction point itself. And all the specifications come from the company that we are assembling for. But yes, I think we can develop that, but all BMWs are the same all over, except that is it Euro 6 or is it Euro 3, depending on the destination of that car itself. So I'm not sure exactly whether we can do it ultimately here, but technologically we can do it. But are we restricted? Possibly yes.
But we do have Toyota. Toyota is very keen on the hydrogen economy and the fuel cell electric vehicle. Isn't it conceivable that our taxis could work on hydrogen? Because you need to know the route, they know the range.
It definitely it is. As I said, you need hydrogen economy, you need infrastructure. Before you can do that, you must be able to have infrastructure. Government needs to build and assist in building that infrastructure, like in California, where government consciously stepped in and built that infrastructure itself. So we need that infrastructure. People will say, yes, I'll buy a fuel cell car, but where am I going to fill up? Equally speaking, the battery electric car, I love it, but where am I going to charge? If I have to charge and get a charging point, is it going to cost me another 20 minutes waiting? If I'm lucky, I find a vacant charging point. If Martin Creamer is ahead of me, then it's 40 minutes again. Do I want to suffer that wait? So you need to have quite a number of infrastructure points. So anything that can change the status quo will need capital investment in infrastructure. And I do think that fuel cell, the hydrogen economy is the answer, because then we don't have power problem as compared to battery electric cars, because if you have 1 million cars in Johannesburg, or say in South Africa, you can imagine the amount of power that those cars will consume. Are we abundant with power? No.